As the NBA season wraps up, it's time for some massive news that could reshape the Chicago Bulls' future and bring a new era of success to the Windy City. Welcome back to the channel, Bulls Nation. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always up to date with all the latest Chicago Bulls news. Today, we're talking about a potential Bam explosion. Yes, you heard that right. Bam Adebayo is reportedly joining the Chicago Bulls. This isn't just a rumor, this is a game-changing move for the Bulls that could finally push them back into championship contention. Trust me, this is one of the biggest and most exciting updates the Bulls have had in years. Get ready, because we're about to dive deep into what this means for the Bulls' future and how Adebayo's arrival could set off a revolution in Chicago. Now, let's get into who Bam Adebayo really is. For those of you who might not be entirely familiar with the Heat star, Adebayo is one of the most versatile players in the NBA today. At 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan, Adebayo is a physical specimen who's able to dominate both ends of the court. He's built like a modern NBA center but plays with the skill set of a forward. Adebayo is known for his incredible athleticism, high basketball IQ, and his ability to impact the game in multiple ways. On offense, he's evolved into a legitimate playmaker, averaging nearly 5 assists per game, often running Miami's offense from the high post. He's also a reliable scorer, contributing 19 points per game last season while showing off a more consistent mid-range jumper and a solid hook shot. But it's on the defensive side of the ball where Adebayo truly shines. He's a two-time NBA All-Defensive Team member, an elite shot blocker, and one of the best in the league at switching onto smaller players in the pick and roll. Whether it's protecting the rim or guarding wings on the perimeter, Adebayo can do it all. His defensive versatility is arguably what makes him one of the most valuable players in the entire league. So why does this matter for the Chicago Bulls? Well, let's talk about that. The Chicago Bulls have been in a rebuilding phase for years. Since their glory days with Michael Jordan, the team has struggled to get back to championship form. While the Bulls have had some exciting players and seasons in the post-Jordan era, they've never quite found the right mix. The franchise has been yearning for that next great player to push them back to the top of the NBA, and despite a few solid seasons, the roster hasn't had that true defensive anchor or game changer that it needed. And that's exactly where Bam Adebayo fits in. For years, the Bulls have been looking for a player who can impact the game on both ends of the floor in a big way. We all know about Zach LaVine's electrifying scoring and DeMar DeRozan's clutch ability, but the Bulls have often been exposed defensively, especially in the post. Adding a player like Adebayo gives the Bulls exactly what they need to become a well-rounded team. His presence would immediately elevate the Bulls' defense, which has been one of their weak spots in recent seasons. With Adebayo anchoring the paint, Chicago could become one of the most feared defensive teams in the East. But Adebayo doesn't just bring defense to the table, he also brings an offensive skill set that complements the Bulls' current roster. Imagine a frontcourt where Adebayo plays alongside Nikola Vucevic. While Vucevic is a talented offensive player with his shooting and scoring inside, he doesn't have the same defensive prowess as Bam. Adebayo would not only provide a defensive upgrade over Vucevic, but he'd also add a dynamic element to the offense that the Bulls have lacked. Adebayo's ability to pass from the post and initiate offense would make him a perfect fit in the Bulls' up-tempo attack. He's able to create for others, either through his excellent passing vision or by pulling defenders in and then finishing around the rim. Adebayo's offensive versatility would allow Chicago's stars like LaVine and DeRozan to focus on their scoring while he makes plays, sets screens, and facilitates in the half court. His presence on the floor would allow the Bulls to switch things up on offense, making them a more unpredictable and dangerous team. One of the biggest advantages Adebayo brings is his ability to play both the 4 and the 5 positions. While he's more often used as a center for the Miami Heat, Adebayo can also slide into the power forward role in a smaller lineup. This would give the Bulls some much-needed flexibility, especially in today's NBA, where versatility and positionless basketball are essential. Whether he's playing as the sole big man or in a more dynamic lineup with Vucevic, Adebayo's ability to switch positions and guard multiple spots would help the Bulls keep pace with the league's most talented teams. This versatility would give the Bulls a huge advantage, particularly when facing other Eastern Conference powerhouses like the Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, and Philadelphia 76ers. Having Adebayo in the lineup would allow the Bulls to match up with these teams in a variety of ways, whether it's putting him on a superstar forward like Giannis Antetokounmpo or a center like Joel Embiid. Beyond his on-court contributions, Adebayo's leadership is another key factor that makes him such a valuable addition to the Bulls. Despite being relatively young, Adebayo has already proven himself to be one of the leaders in the Heat locker room. His work ethic, vocal presence, and ability to lead by example are exactly what the Bulls need. This is a team with a lot of potential, but there are questions about their leadership and ability to perform under pressure. Adebayo's experience in the postseason, where he helped guide the Heat to the NBA Finals in 2020, would bring invaluable knowledge to the Bulls, especially in high-stakes games. He's been through the grind of the playoffs and understands what it takes to compete for a title. His leadership would inspire not just the young players on the roster like Patrick Williams and Ayo Dosunmu, but also the veterans like LaVine and DeRozan. Adebayo's tenacity and mindset are the kinds of qualities that can help turn a team's culture around, and that's exactly what the Bulls need right now. Now, let's talk about what this all means for the Chicago Bulls championship aspirations. For years, the team has been on the brink of competing for an NBA title, but has consistently fallen short. With Adebayo on the roster, the Bulls would finally have the complete player they've been missing. Adebayo's defensive dominance and offensive versatility give the Bulls the tools to compete with the very best teams in the East. And let's not forget about his ability to rise in clutch moments, particularly in big playoff games. The Bulls have had some talent over the years, but they've always lacked that final piece, that player who can do it all. Adebayo is that piece, and with him, the Bulls could finally make a serious run at the NBA Finals. Think about a potential playoff matchup between the Bulls and the Milwaukee Bucks. Adebayo's ability to guard Giannis, protect the rim, and provide offensive support would be invaluable in such a series. Similarly, against the Celtics, Adebayo could switch onto Jason Tatum or Marcus Smart and impact the game defensively while also being a scoring threat on the other end. With Adebayo in the mix, the Bulls would have a shot at beating any of the elite teams in the East and finally making a push to win an NBA title. As expected, Bulls fans are absolutely buzzing about this potential move. The reaction on social media has been one of unbridled excitement, with fans already visualizing what a team featuring Adebayo could look like. Chicago is a passionate basketball city, and the thought of having a player like Adebayo in a Bulls jersey has sparked a wave of optimism among the fan base. For years, fans have been waiting for the Bulls to make a major move that could push them back into contention, and this is that move. Adding Adebayo to the roster would send a message to the entire NBA that the Bulls are back in the hunt for a championship. There's no doubt that the arrival of Adebayo would ignite a revolution in Chicago, bringing hope and excitement back to the city of Chicago and the Bulls faithful. So, what's next? Well, we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out. But one thing is for sure, with Bam Adebayo on the Chicago Bulls, the future is bright. This move could set the Bulls on a path to greatness, with a dynamic, two-way star anchoring their lineup. Bulls fans have waited long enough for a team like this, and with Adebayo leading the way, the sky's the limit. So, Bulls Nation, let me know what you think. Are you excited about the possibility of Bam Adebayo joining the team? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with all your fellow Bulls fans. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, bear down.